Happy Tuesday, Newsday UNF. Today we have a very special show here. We have an interview with members of our student government.
We'll also be covering news, sports, and entertainment, all here on UNF Now. Good morning, Ospreys. I'm Amal Kamal. UNF is providing students with a fun way to learn about the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. The Women's Health Fair will be held April 3rd in the Student Union ballrooms from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be vendors representing women's health issues and opportunities to win prizes. Don't miss out. Bone marrow transplants are necessary for those afflicted with certain blood cancer disorders. That's why graduate psychology students are conducting a bone marrow donor drive here on campus. The event will be conducted at the Student Union on April 4th. This is an opportunity to potentially save someone's life. Looks like this will come out today. Here is your UNF Now weather report. Joining us today are the current president and vice president of UNF Student Government, Carlo Fossi and Mike Naughton. Thank you for joining us today, guys.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right, well, to start off, what does a typical work day for you guys look like? What are the responsibilities of the president and vice president?
Well, one of the great things about working in student government that a lot of people don't realize is that it's a normal 8 to 5 job for Carlo and I. It's a full-time position, both president and vice president, 40 hours a week. So a lot of our meetings, probably 75% of them, happen between the hours of 8 and 5 so that we can meet with administrators, faculty members, governors, different people with higher positions that work those normal jobs. And then you add our class schedule into it, our extracurriculars, personal lives. So things change constantly. And that's one of the great things about our positions is that a typical day for us is atypical. It's got its meetings thrown about it, but we're pretty much just whenever we walk into the office some days we just have that fire to put up with and then put out. So
yeah, we serve on a variety of university-wide committees, those that oversee all auxiliaries on campus, those that determine what's going to be what space is going to be used for with new buildings or new programs, new departments. And then we push forward our initiatives, the ones that we ran on during the spring or fall elections. So if, for example, when we got elected at the end of spring last year, one of the first things we began working on was free printing. So for the first couple of weeks, we met with auxiliary services and basically made sure determined how much it was going to cost and went to the Senate and figured out, how were we going to allocate the funding specifically for that initiative. So either we're working on an initiative that we've promised the students, we're working on something that we've picked up throughout the course of the year, or we're in those meetings that are basically consistent on a semester basis where a space committee, auxiliary oversight, Center for Student Media Advisory Board, things of this nature that really just oversee departments and programs on campus so that there is some student accountability and some students are reviewing how these programs are working.
Wow, I didn't know you guys were so busy. So what would you say is the most rewarding part about your job and the most difficult?
For me, the most rewarding part is talking to other universities and finding out how impressed they are with us and how they think the University of North Florida is really just a gem of the state, and how our facility and the school we have is this little unknown thing that a lot of the universities take for granted, and then when they get to visit us, they see how beautiful our campus is, like the classrooms we have, the classroom sizes we have, and then they see our student government and they're like, wow, you guys live in a palace compared to some of the things we have. I also really like talking to students, and when they say oh, those 10 free prints we get every semester really saved my life. Didn't even know I had that, and then at the last second, I had a paper to print out, and I saw UNF Student Government gave me 10 free prints, and I was able to pass my class. Little things like that really get me through the day.
And I've been able to classify two different events throughout my year as president that I look back on and really let's say that they've been moments. Walking out of the president's office or one of the vice president's office, having just accomplished an initiative or really just agreed on paper what the initiative or policy or program, such as Chick-fil-A free printing, these things, being able to conceptually understand that it's being done, that it's being worked on, and that we've accomplished our goal. But then the other portion is actually seeing it on campus, actually seeing the students go using their free prints, actually, visualizing the construction of Papa John's, or when we did the online grade database, the first time I was able to go onto my wings and see how many A's, B's, D's, C's, and F's our professors have given out throughout their tenure at UNF. Being able to witness that after we worked so hard to make sure that it was done was by far the most rewarding aspect of my job. And at the end of the day, no one really knows who necessarily worked on it. That we don't really do it for that. We do it for the incoming freshmen who want something better out of their school, and that's why Mike and I ran to provide those programs and make sure that their student representatives are being active in SG and making student government relevant.
Wow, I really respect that. I can speak for myself, like the free prints really did save my life.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, you guys seem really busy throughout your college years, but what are your plans after graduation?
Graduation? I don't think that's not in my plan ever. Never.
You never want to finish.
Yeah, it's not that you can't finish at UNF or you never finish. It's I don't want to leave ever. Just gonna try every college out once or twice. But my goal is actually to be at the university forever. I want to, after graduation, eventually start working in student affairs and working with college students, because just the energy on a college campus is unmatched and unparalleled. And I'd love to just sit down and be an advisor for student government, Greek life clubs, director of the student union, anything like that, where I can just work with students on a daily basis. Not necessarily teach, but offer those teachable moments and sit down with somebody and advise them this probably wasn't the best idea, but this is how we can learn from it. And that's things that I really enjoy doing.
And what's something he's been great at for the last year, 2 years, 3 years since I've known Mike. Student affairs has been lucky to have somebody like Mike Naughton within OP and now as chief of staff and then as vice president. For when I graduate, I'd potentially like to go into politics or some foreign policy type of lifestyle. I'd like to go to Tallahassee after graduating UNF to work in the Capitol building in Tallahassee, maybe for a senator or a House rep, or the governor for that matter. But I'd like to live there and eventually maybe move to DC. We'll see where life takes me, but definitely politics, foreign policy, international relations, something like that.
That's very ambitious. Well, I've heard something about Rally for Tally. Can you guys tell us more about that and how it can benefit the student body?
Well, Rally and Tally is probably one of my favorite events that student government offers every year, and it's one of the most unique events that we have on our campus because it's not actually on our campus, it's in Tallahassee. Rally and Tally is an event that's put on by the Florida Student Association, which has one SG member, usually it's the SG president, sits on this board of directors for FSA from every state university in the system. So all 11 schools sit on this committee, and all 11 schools participate in Rally and Tally, and students from each school travel to the Capitol and fight for higher education and things that we need as college students.
We have just like any other lobbyist organization, we have a legislative agenda this year, and the things that myself and the other 10 SG presidents have voted on this year to stress the importance of, or why these items should be funded, include not increasing tuition whatsoever, and the Senate budget that's been proposed this last week doesn't increase tuition on students. Increasing the maximum amount allotted to Bright Futures recipients, and the Senate budget that's been released last week also does that. Allowing all veterans in-state tuition. So regardless of what state that you're born in or you're residents in, if you come to the state of Florida, you can get in-state tuition. And then also allowing us to bond and finance the Capital Improvement Trust Fund fee revenue, which would provide student facilities on campus like the Student Union, the Wellness Complex, and Hodges Stadium.
Wow. Well, let's all keep our fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Now let's get to Annie Black with your entertainment now.
With your entertainment now, I'm Annie Black. It's time for another Osprey Productions movie night, this time featuring the film Zero Dark 30. Zero Dark 30 is the critically acclaimed movie about the dangerous hunt for Osama bin Laden. The movie will be shown in the Student Union Auditorium tomorrow night, 7 p.m., but if you're offended by violence, I'd be wary because this film has realistic torture and war scenes. And Friday, the International Center and the International Students Association are sponsoring the International Dinner Dance, a night of cultural food and dancing. If you're absolutely craving traveling, this is a great time to learn about the places you could be visiting. You get to try new foods, learn new dances, and there are even going to be performances featuring different nationalities. International Dinner Dance will be at the UNF Arena at 7:30 p.m. on Friday. This next event is a few months away, but you better act fast if you want tickets because there aren't many left. Justin Bieber himself will be here in Jacksonville in August, performing at the Veterans Memorial Arena at 7 p.m. on August 7th. If you want to hear the famous Canadian play hits like Beauty and the Beat and Baby, then go to www.ticketmaster.com to check out tickets. Remember when Justin was just a little kid with that seriously swooped haircut? I know the majority of us here at UNF are probably older than him, but why not go and see what the Beeb has to offer? Now let's check in with Hannah Ostapchuk to see what the world of sports is like today. Here's your UNF Now Sports Report.
With your UNF Now Sports Report, I'm Hannah Ostapchuk. Big congratulations to the UNF's Donnie DeWeese for being named the Atlantic Sun Conference Player of the Week. The league office announced the baseball player's stardom yesterday morning. This was the third conference award for the Ospreys this season, but was the first for DeWeese. As a freshman, DeWeese has recorded a handful of hits in all 4 games this week, including the record-setting triple play in 1 game. Come out and congratulate the Player of the Week yourself when they take on their rival Bethune-Cookman tonight at 6 p.m. This will be the second to last Toss It Back Tuesday, which means 2-for-1 beer specials. Softball took home a 1-0 win this past Saturday, cap off a sweep of the ETSU Bucks. The Ospreys capitalized on ETSU's sloppy play in the 7th inning. They scored the game-winning run on a Bucks fielding error. An extra shout-out to Kaylee Wallace, who managed her second win of the weekend with a complete game shutout. Wallace surrendered 4 hits and fanned 3 batters in 7 innings. The next series starts this Saturday, April 6th, with a doubleheader with Kennesaw State. The 3-game Atlantic Sun Series starts at 1 p.m. at the UNF Softball Complex. Admission to all UNF softball games are free, so don't forget to come out and swoop for your Ospreys. And our men's club lacrosse team had an exciting weekend, to say the least. The Ospreys won 8-7 in a double overtime this past Saturday in Boca Raton against the Florida Atlantic Owls. With only 10 players on the team set for the weekend, the team lost a tough one to the Palm Beach Atlantic Sailfish on Sunday. With a 5-3 season, this 10-player team is ready for their next battle. Come out and support your Ospreys for their home game next Saturday, April 13th at the Hodges Stadium practice field. They'll be taking on the Eckerd Tritons. So I forgot to mention that tonight at the 6 p.m. baseball game, it's a pink out.
Pink out,
So
what's
wow.
that?
For breast cancer awareness.
What is that?
Everyone wears pink while you cheer on for the Ospreys.
Well, I'm ready to go. I'm already wearing pink.
Oh yeah, there you go.
All right, well,
We're out of luck.
Yeah, we'll have to go change.
make sure to check out our website, unfmedia.com.
And also make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/UNF Media.
Thank you for tuning in, and check in with us anytime you need your news now. Have a great day, UNF.